Ohio State beats number one Texas for the season opener, holds Arch Manning and the Longhorns to 7 points. Immediate post-game reaction from me and you right now. Locked on Big Ten Live starts now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten Live. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. And I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit that free subscribe button while you're with us here today so you never miss a single episode. We are here every day, but today, post-game, we are live. And we also ask you to share, like, and follow so you don't miss a single episode. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account and use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. We're all over it. Texas, Ohio State, the biggest game to start the year. And it goes in favor of Ohio State. It goes in favor of the Big Ten over the SEC. Plus, we'll talk about all the other games today in the Big Ten. We're all-encompassing here on our live edition here on a Saturday. Plus, we'll even have our first look ahead to week 2. All that coming up. But Joel Klatt started the broadcast on Fox by saying that this will be a season-defining game that we will talk about all year. I think he was right on the money. And it comes out in favor of the Buckeyes. They will be the number one team in the country this week as the ratings will change. But Texas opened up their opening drive. Conservative play calling on both sides, right? And we expect that a little bit with the Ohio State Buckeyes because Julian Sayin is making his first start against a pretty good Texas defense. But Texas also very conservative in their play calling, maybe attributed to the Matt Patricia defense, which we have to talk about. But while they were simplified in their play calling, both teams were like going for it on fourth down early in the game. In fact, Urban Meyer mentioned at halftime he didn't like that on either side. But the opening drive for Texas, they did get one fourth down conversion at their own 35. Very risky early on in the game. But their other 4th and 2 got stuffed at the 2-yard line. Again, the Matt Patricia defense with the stop at the goal line. It was awesome. And then Julian Sayin on his opening drive, again, you can imagine what the nerves were like for that kid. So they kept it simple, 3 straight runs, had a 4th and 1 at the 49. They did finally throw the ball on that play. Max Clare could not hang on, the new tight end that transferred from Purdue. So the Texas defense with a stop right there. By the way, on that play, on that first 4th down incomplete, Jeremiah Smith was wide open on a go route on the right side. Probably could have scored a touchdown, but I think Sayin, just getting started, had a little tunnel vision and wasn't able to see him. But Texas gets the ball right back, but they don't do anything with it. They got a 3 and out. They had a penalty on their drive. They ended up punting the ball back to Ohio State. So, again, Ohio State back deep on their 7-yard line, so they got to keep it conservative at this point. Jeremiah Smith and Max Clare with a couple of completions, but then a couple of drops by Jeremiah Smith, the all-world, the best player in the country, best wide receiver in the country. Actually changed his gloves on the sideline at that point. Didn't like that, and the Buckeyes ended up punting the ball. So Texas is at the 25. And I got to say, Arch Manning, I mean, he made a couple of nice plays late in the game. I'm not impressed. I'm kind of the same Arch Manning we saw last year, backing up Quinn Ewers, coming in, a couple of nice plays with his legs. He was not sharp passing all day long. They end up punting the ball. Ohio State gets it at their own 20. There was a big 16-yard catch by Smith with the new gloves. And then that was it for the first quarter. We go into the second quarter scoreless. We're like, all right, now we've been previewing the heck out of this game all summer long. As we got closer and closer, our assessment was this would be a low-scoring, punch in the mouth, feel each other out kind of game in the first half. And then I thought Ohio State would break out in the second half, a few big plays. That happened, but not to the extent I thought it would in such a low-scoring game at 14-7. So we go to the second quarter, we're scoreless. And more incomplete passes by Ohio State. They were bailed out on that drive in the second quarter by a face mask 15-yard personal foul penalty, the automatic first down. That allowed their team to stay on the field. There was the defensive holding on a play toward Jeremiah Smith, another automatic first down. That got the Buckeyes into the red zone at the 18-yard line. And then the Buckeyes just committed to the run all day. Didn't have a really great yard per average carry, but it was just pound, pound, pound up the middle all day. They kept doing that with C.J. Donaldson, a little bit of James Peoples. Ohio State got to a 4th and goal at the 1, and C.J. Donaldson was able to ride it in and get in there for the end zone with 8:57 to go in the half. And it was a 13-play, 80-yard drive that took 8 minutes. It was a nice grinder, and Ohio State let them have it. 7-0 was the lead at that point. Then Texas gets the ball back. They got sacked at midfield. It was a delayed blitz that Matt Patricia called, and Texas ends up having to punt the ball to get it down inside the 2-yard line. So, again, Ohio State with a young quarterback making his first start. They got to keep it conservative down in there, just a couple of quick runs. But then on the third play, Sayin, remember, rolled out into the end zone on a 3rd and 3, threw it to Carnell Tate for a first down, got a little breathing room. And then on another 3rd down, throw to Jeremiah Smith for 5 yards, but that was short. So we're at the 2-minute timeout at the end of the half, and Ohio State has to punt. So Texas has the ball at midfield with plenty of time. But at this point, we're almost done with the half. And all this Heisman hype, Arch Manning this, Arch Manning that. At this point of the game, he's 4 for 9 for 20 yards. That's it. It was a non-factor the entire game with his passing game. I was not impressed. I'm sure you weren't either. There was a 4th and 3. They decided to run some clock. And we end up going into the locker room 7-0. Ohio State with the lead at that point. We come back out in the second half. Ohio State punts. Texas gets the ball on their own 29-yard line. Had a nice 16-yard run by Arch. Arch had a couple of nice running plays, but that's what he does. That's what he can do. So he gets the 16 yards there. They end up with a 4th and goal, marching it down to the 1-yard line. They try the Arch Manning tush push that the Philadelphia Eagles lose, and he got stuffed. He got stuffed. Again, the Buckeyes defense is the story here in this game. So, and it deflated Texas because that was a 15-yard drive, man. They were moving the ball 70 yards, getting there down to the goal line, and they come up with a goose egg at that point. So you think maybe Ohio State's going to break a little momentum here, but they don't do anything with the ball. They end up punting. Texas gets the ball back then, but then talk about momentum. Arch throws an interception. Jermaine Matthews Jr. to the Ohio State 32-yard line. So now we're coming off the stuff at the 1-yard line. Then the interception by the Buckeyes defense, and it feels like they might be able to eke ahead on this thing. Ohio State has the ball. There was a 3rd and 4th. There was a 7-yard catch by Jeremiah Smith to the Ohio State 45-yard line. At this point, Jeremiah Smith, who had been pretty quiet, 5 catches and 40 yards. And now we go to the 4th quarter on this drive. And then that was the play of the day, where Julian Sayin goes back to throw, and it's a short throw, but Carnell Tate made one of the most athletic moves you'll ever see to turn around and come back for the ball. Had to catch it twice. Had to bobble it to himself, falling into the end zone, a double catch on the short pass. And early in the 4th quarter, Ohio State is up 14-0. And now if you're a Buckeyes fan, you're feeling pretty good, right? That was a 7-play, 68-yard drive. Took just under 5 minutes to go. And then it looked like later on, when Texas had the ball, it looked like this was sealed and done. Sonny Styles off of the deflection. It looked like they picked Arch off again, but it was overruled. They caught it in between his arms and the ball touched the ground. So incomplete pass. Texas keeps it and avoids disaster at that point. But then they start marching the ball down. And then Arch does find, he tries to find Parker Livingston in the corner of the end zone. But David Igbenenson, one of the few players returning back on the defense from last year, is defending on the play. It's incomplete in the end zone. And so that was on a 4th and 3. That was huge. And so Ohio State takes over on their own 9. Again, keeping it simple, running the ball, trying to burn some clock. They end up having to pump with about 4 minutes to go. So Texas has the ball at their own 40-yard line. And that's when Texas probably got it together for the first time offensively all day. Quick drive. This time, Arch does find Livingstone for the 32-yard touchdown. Now Texas is on the board with a quick 4-play, 60-yard drive, just 42 seconds. Now it's 14-7. By the way, they reviewed that catch in the end zone because he caught it, and as he rolled, he switched hands, which was a little bit of movement of the ball that they were looking for, but it was all legal, and they made the right call. That was a touchdown. I mean, if that wasn't a catch, I don't know what a catch is, but they caught it. And now Texas is back in this thing. Ohio State up 14-7, and we're getting late into the fourth quarter. And the Buckeyes go 3 and out, right? An incomplete pass by Sayin was rolling out the right side. He should have stayed in bounds and run the ball. Instead, the incomplete pass, it stopped the clock. That was like giving Texas an extra timeout. So that was a mistake by the young quarterback. He should have just gone down. Ohio State has to punt. Arch Manning has the ball with 2:26 to go. So all this summertime of hype and Heisman, all right, it's his turn on the road. Let's go for him. And first and 10 from their own 15. He throws the incomplete to Wingo. Second down, Arch finds Jack Endress for 30 yards. That was a big league pass, catch, and a hang on as he got hit. That was probably their best play of the day, I thought, Texas. So we get to the 2-minute timeout with the 1-score game. There was another drop by Wingo on a third down. Pass was a little behind him. Again, Arch, not impressive passing the ball today. The 4th and 5 at midfield. This was another one. This on a short list of plays of the day. The Buckeyes get pressure on Arch. CJ Hicks gets to him. They do complete the pass to Endress, but it's short of the first down. Ohio State takes over. Matt Patricia's defense did an incredible job. We're going to talk about that throughout the week on the daily portion of our Locked On Big Ten podcast. And it's victory formation, and the Buckeyes win 14-7 and burn out the clock. I can't say enough. What an amazing job by the defense. We talked during our podcast during the summer about Matt Patricia was trying to use Caleb Downs in different positions. There was one play I know he was down at the line of scrimmage. Just a lot of creativity, I thought, on that defense in what was otherwise a simplified offensive game. And I was surprised by how simplified the offense was with Sark and Texas in this game. They really didn't open things up until they were kind of desperate, and they had to. So that was a fantastic day by the Buckeyes. I see we got a lot of live comments. We will get to those as we are here live with our immediate post-game reaction. If you are new to us, we do this every day. We don't go live every day. We just go live after the big games on Saturday, but we're here every morning in your inbox, man. Go ahead and subscribe right now. If you haven't yet, join the party. And also we ask you to share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten as well. If you're a Big Ten fan, I know you know other Big Ten fans that may not know we're out here every single day. Let them know. Hit that share button and send it to them. That would be really appreciated. We also have a website, talkbig10.com with the number 10. We put all of our podcasts there. You can find them. And there are also links there to buy merchandise from your favorite Big Ten school. If you're a Buckeyes fan, shirts, T-shirts, hats, right there on with our podcast on our website, talkbig10.com. We still have a lot to do. Again, I'm going to get to your reaction with your live comments here in just a second. We got other Big Ten teams in action right now as we speak or winding up. We'll get to all that. We'll even have a quick look ahead to week 2, and I'll tell you how you could win a $100 gift card from Amazon. All that is coming up next in our live edition of Locked On Big Ten. All right, I want to tell you about Game Time because this is where you can get your tickets. And, of course, we're brought to you by Game Time today. And, you know, with college football here, and if you want to get back and get to some games, but you're the guy in charge in your group of getting tickets, it's like, oh, what am I going to do? You get the Game Time app, download it. It's on your phone. They got the best deals. Did you know that the closer you wait to kickoff, the better the prices get? So check all that out. And it is so easy because of just a couple taps. You can get your tickets. I like how you could have the view of the seat of the ticket you're about to buy right there on your phone before you buy, just to make sure you got some good seats so you don't look bad in front of your friends, right? So pull it up. It's an easy app to use. They've got the great zone deals where, you know, pick the section and Game Time picks the seats and the best price for you right there. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time, download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. So swipe, tap, ticket. Download Game Time today. That's Game Time. Thanks for checking us out on a live edition of Locked On Big Ten, immediately following the Texas-Ohio State game, Ohio State winning that game. Hey, we got a survey here at Locked On. If you're new to us, we're always trying to make ourselves better, the whole Locked On company. We want to hear from you, make the things you like. We want to know the things you like, maybe things you don't like, questions about advertising, all that stuff. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey. And get started. Everyone who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. So again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey, and you can find the link in the show notes as well. So thanks for helping us out. Hopefully you win that $100 gift card from Amazon as well. Thanks as always for making Locked On Big Ten your first listen each and every day. Every day we're here, all 18 teams, everything with news, opinion, analysis of that news. We have the video on YouTube. We have audio. If you're an audio podcast fan, go ahead and download us there. We're at Apple and Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. So check that out. All right, let's take a peek at a few comments here. So get your reaction. You got mine already, and then we'll look into what else has taken place so far today around the Big Ten. I saw somebody as soon as we were coming on the air, an Oregon fan, says, "What's Paul Feinbaum going to do now? He's going to lose his mind. The SEC lost to the Big Ten again." That's right. In fact, that was from Oregon Stacker. I appreciate that. Retired Nurse says Arch Manning is way overrated. He had receivers running open all over the place, and he can't make a 5-yard pass. Yeah, he was high. He was off the mark. I was kind of surprised at kind of how bad it was, to be honest with you. Also, Robert checking in with a Go Bucks. And we got Lost Tribe that says defense great, offense acceptable, but needs work. Oh, it absolutely needs work. I think they purposely kept things simple. In fact, I think you heard Ryan Day, if you tuned in to the live post game on the field. He said, maybe we could have opened it up a little more, but they really didn't want to put Julian Sayin in that position. So they did keep it simple because they could. They had the luxury of that defense out there. It was incredible. Let's see here. Also retired nurse, the best player for Ohio State was Arch. There's some there. Can't believe Arch was considered for the hype man word for Heisman there as well. Brian check in. We'll be just fine. Go Buckeyes. And we got, Lost Tribes checking in from Frankfurt, Germany. We're global here today as we're live on Locked On Big Ten. That's very good. He's born and raised in Indiana, Big Ten fanatic. Welcome aboard. We'll take anybody from anywhere. Ronald with an OH. I'll give you the IO right there. And CJ says, 14-0 in the fourth quarter sure looked good. It did. I mean, you got to give Texas credit for getting on the board and making it a one-score game. I know the shutout would have been a cool story, though, wouldn't it? Yeah, some of you are saying that as well. A lot of impressed with the safety there for the Buckeyes as well. William saying, all the Texas idiots arguing with me last week. It said they would score 42 points. Yeah, not so much. Officiating was a joke, according to Lawrence. They didn't call. There weren't a lot of penalties in that game. I didn't think the officiating was bad at all, and I think they got the replays right. Maybe you disagree with all that. IS says Sarkisian is 6-10 now versus top 25 at Texas, and he is overrated. William says Sayin greater than Manning. And Bernard, music to my ears. So does this seal the debate that the Big Ten is better than the SEC? Yeah, I'll go on that with you. Here's some hate towards some Texas fans. And it goes on and how soft they are. Look, it was that was impressive. Thank you for all your comments. Appreciate all that. As we are here live following our game day. We do this all the time. I'll tell you in a minute where we're going to be live next week as well. So let's jump back in with everything we got going on with this game and the other games going on in the Big Ten. Purdue, well, first of all, let's give a shout out to the first 6 teams that went 6-0 going into the weekend. Rutgers, Minnesota, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Michigan State, 12th ranked Illinois, 6-0 start going into the weekend. Ohio State wins this game. Purdue, Barry Odom, his first game as a head coach for Purdue, shut out Ball State 31-0. Ryan Brown, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air, another one on the ground. Tulane did beat Northwestern 23-3. Right before we took the airwaves, Maryland was up on Florida Atlantic 39-7. Malik Washington is a true freshman from Maryland. He might be freshman of the year. Bryce Underwood, you're up next later on today. We could have a nice battle for that, but Malik Washington threw 3 touchdown passes last I checked. Also, when we came on the airways, Old Dominion actually scored first on Indiana. Indiana came back. It was 7-7 as we took the airwaves there. Penn State getting going against Nevada. That's on CBS, the big favorite in the Big Ten by a lot of people's accounts. Oregon getting ready to kick off against Montana State, the FCS runner-up from last year. So Dante Moore, is he going to be the first one to take snaps? They kept that a big secret all offseason. UAlbany is at Iowa. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Kirk Ferentz, if he wins, he ties Woody Hayes for the all-time win mark in the Big Ten. And, of course, New Mexico at Michigan. We talked about Malik Washington, the freshman quarterback at Maryland. Michigan has its big-time freshman quarterback. Bryce Underwood going to make his debut. That is 7:30 Eastern, Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. It's going to be big. I would expect a lot of running with Jordan Marshall and Justice Haynes with the Wolverines today to kind of keep things nice and simple for Bryce Underwood his first time out. Missouri State is at USC tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Lincoln Riley going there with a lot of pressure on his shoulders to win a lot of games this year. Utah is at UCLA at the Rose Bowl. That's at 8 p.m., 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific at the Rose Bowl. Deshaun Foster, year 2. Nico Iamaleava, the big transfer news from the summertime from Tennessee to UCLA. We're going to be watching him as UCLA tries to rebuild through the trenches. And then Colorado State is at Washington, 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific. That's on the Big Ten Network. Jedfish, year 2. I am so excited to watch Jamal Williams Jr. play at quarterback this year. I think he's going to be our breakout player of the year in the Big Ten. I have Washington along with Nebraska were my sleeper teams to watch this year. And, of course, Nebraska got the win against Cincinnati the other day as well. So a lot of excitement still to come here in the Big Ten. And we will give you our first peek ahead to week 2. I'll tell you when we're going to go live next weekend. So we're going to do this after the biggest games each weekend. That is all coming up next on a live edition of Locked On Big Ten. Let me tell you about Upside. You're going to get gas anyway. You have your routine. You got to drive, right? Well, Upside will help you save a lot of money when you're getting gas. Stop leaving money behind every time you fill up the tank. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now. Start earning cash at the pump today. And you can use my special code, promo code FOOTBALL, the word football, for a limited time and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. And you can make up to $300 throughout the year doing this if you're an average commuter and driver throughout the entire year. And you can cash out anytime with your bank account, with PayPal, with an e-gift card, Amazon, other brands. It's so easy to use. So don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app right now using my limited time promo code FOOTBALL for a limited time, 25 cent per gallon bonus. That's the promo code FOOTBALL. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions with Upside. All right, thanks for checking us out here on Locked On Big Ten. We are having a blast, and we're glad you're with us here. Just checked in on some comments a few moments ago. Let me take another peek at it, and then we're going to give you a heads up, our first look ahead to what's coming up next week. And but first, take a quick peek. A lot of Buckeye fans on here as well. And Sayin, not bad for a freshman. Actually, redshirt freshman. Yeah, that's from Mike. and Dr. Detroit did not like the game. Well, maybe he's a Michigan fan, or maybe it wasn't enough scoring for you, but that was a defensive showcase for sure. And then some previews from you from the Clemson LSU game. How about that? All right. So here's what we got coming up. Next week, it's a long schedule because we're a non-conference, so we got 18 games to get to. We have 2 Friday night games. We'll be all over. Western Illinois is at Northwestern, and then Northern Illinois is at Maryland. Again, Malik Washington. Check him out on national TV Friday night. Saturday, Florida International is at Penn State. Illinois on the road at Duke. Kennesaw State at Indiana to take on the Hoosiers. And then the big rivalry, Iowa is at Iowa State this year. That is where Big Noon at Fox is going to be going, by the way. And Northwestern State is at Minnesota. Grambling will be at Ohio State. That's the 3:30 game on the Big Ten Network. Hey, Buckeye fans, at least not another noon game, right? And it's not prime time, but at least it's not a noon game. Oklahoma State is at Oregon. Miami of Ohio at Rutgers. And Middle Tennessee State will be at Camp Randall to take on Wisconsin. Now, let me tell you about Michigan at Oklahoma. You all know the story here. Sharon Moore, that's his alma mater, wants to coach against them. This is a big, big test for Michigan. And then after this game, Sharon Moore starts his 2-game suspension. But that will be on at 7:30 on ABC. It's not the Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. This is an ABC game, ESPN production, ABC, 7:30, Michigan at Oklahoma. We will go live. Immediate reaction after that game. So sometime between 10:30 and 11 Eastern on next Saturday, right after the Michigan-Oklahoma game. Okay? Akron is at Nebraska. Georgia Southern is at USC. Boston College is at Michigan State. I'm interested in this game. That, by the way, is the 7:30 Big Ten Saturday night game on NBC. Michigan State lost at BC last year, but I thought that was where Aiden Childs started to turn things around. So, and now this one's at home on the home and home series. Southern Illinois is at Purdue. UCLA is at UNLV, and UC Davis taking on the Washington Huskies. All right. What a day, huh? What a day. Thank you for all your reaction. I gave you mine, spilled it live right after the game. We go live after the biggest games each and every week, but we are here every day, Monday through Friday. So check out our daily podcast, Talk Big Ten, and we're here covering the entire league. We hope you join us each. If you're new, if you just discovered us today, hit that subscribe button. Go back and check out some past podcasts from this past week. You'll enjoy that. Again, if you're brand new, always news, analysis, and opinions right here. We've got Twitter at Talk Big Ten. We have our website, talkbig1010.com. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. Tell your friends about us, and we'll be right back at it, ready to go on Monday. I think we're going to have multiple podcasts on Monday, so be looking for those in your feed as well. Also, if you want to check out a second listen, check out our friend Brian Smith at the Portal Show. He's part of the Locked On family as well. Enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend. Thank you so much for checking us out for a live edition of Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman. We'll see you next time.